Test ID 51, Component ID 80, Purge Flow Test. Component ID 80 indicates we have minimum limit. Now the PCM monitors idle air control at idle when the evap purge solenoid is open slightly. This is a semi-intrusive test, but it just cracks it open a bit, watches idle air control, confirms what it's looking for, and then closes it back up and waits until we can drive the car. Now the data values aren't converted into measurement values by Chrysler, so use the data as a relative indication of performance. We'll use vehicle data to show the results. Here's our highlight of TID 51. The limit is 3. The actual measured value is 255. We easily pass this test. And remember, in mode 6, when you easily pass the test, you don't have to do any additional testing. But if you need to do additional testing, here's some things you need to be aware of. We could not actually capture the PCM running the purge monitor at idle because it only happens once per drive cycle. So what we do for our own test is we use the scan data to watch and graft purge duty cycle and short-term fuel trim as an alternative to this test. Now here's a graft of our screen we captured. You can see at the top we're grafting purge duty cycle. It's making step changes. In the middle is the oxygen sensors making changes. And at the bottom is adaptive short-term fuel trim. Now let's analyze these changes. What we did here was to come from a very, very low duty cycle to a slight increase. At the time, at the same instant, we increased it, oxygen sensor voltage increased, indicating we're slightly richer, and as a result, short-term fuel trim went down slightly, indicating we needed less fuel. This confirms two facts. We have fuel vapor in the purge flow, and we have purge flow. But keep in mind, not all times are we going to have purge flow. Purge flow will not be very high in cold weather operation where we have few vapors stored. But in hot weather, where more fuel vapor is stored in the canister, we will see bigger changes. So keep that in mind. Here's an example from another vehicle. The purge duty cycle is increased. Voltage at the oxygen sensor went down, indicating a lean mixture, and short-term fuel trim went up. What does this indicate? Well, this confirms we have purge flow, but it also confirms we have very little fuel vapor present. Doesn't mean none, it just means very little. Now, the thing we need you to understand is this can only verify purge flow. It can't actually verify the entire evap system in the leak test. If we're going to do an enhanced leak test, we're going to require additional test capabilities. This test will not do that, but it is used by Mode 6 to verify purge flow, and that is what it is. So use it for what it does. It'll help you identify cases where purge flow does not occur, and you can investigate further.